So today's lesson is lesson number 4, which is percent applications. And remember, this is mental math. We cannot use calculators for this. Now, the first part is the review, just identifying the part, whole, and the percent. You don't need to solve the problem, but you should be able to pause the video, do this on your own, and then come back to check your work. So if you did this on your own, your boxes should look like mine. For the first one, we were missing the part, but we had the whole and the percent. The second one, we had the part and the whole, but we were missing our percent. And the third one is a little tricky. The dogs were just the part, and then we had other animals at the park as well. So we're missing the whole. Our first problem today reads, Dave scored a 70% on his math test. Dave got 28 problems correct. How many problems were on the test? So just like what we did last week, I want to identify the part, the whole, and the percent to start us off before we think about solving. I know 70 is my percent. 28 is the ones he got correct. So that is part of his answers. And how many problems total would be what I'm missing. Now we also talked about last week we could set up a proportion, which tended to be the preferred method. I know proportions go part over whole equal percent over 100. And when we set up a proportion, we cross multiply in order to solve. My first cross is 28 times 100. So we have the numbers and my zeros, and it's going to equal my second cross, which is 70 times x. From here, when I divide by 70, I don't need a calculator because even though these are big numbers, we have tricks to help us out. Cancel as many zeros as possible. So if you have a 0 on the top, you can cancel with a 0 on the bottom. And then look at your numbers themselves. I know 28 divided by 7 is 4 because that's a simple math problem. And then we had another 0. So it is 40. So that's how many problems are on the test. And because this is an application problem or a word problem, put that in a sentence. There were 40 problems on the test. And then we have our solution. Our next one reads, at Kohl's, a pair of shoes is $60. They are on sale for 30% off. How much is our discount? So, part, whole, percent. Start with identifying. $60 was the original, so that is the whole. 30% off is my percent. 30% off. And then the part is our discount. And I want to make a note quickly. When I am reading this, I notice it's 30% off. So the part, when I solve, that is going to be how much money, we'll use a pen, how much money off I get on this question, which is going to be that discount value. So I'm going to set up my proportion. So we have part over whole equals percent over 100. We cross multiply. 3 times 6 is 18 with my zeros equals 100x divided by 100. I have my zeros cancel and I end up with just x equals $18. That is my discount. So I get $18 off the shoes. But we now have a follow-up question saying how much are they on sale for? And to figure out our sale price, we do our original minus the savings. So my original shoes were $60 minus my savings of $18, and that leaves me with $42 shoes. So how much are they on sale for? They are now $42. Notice all of this is math I can do in my head. You could have also figured out the part from above by just breaking down 60. I know if I take the number 60, I know 10% is 6. And so if I triple that, that gives me 30%, which is 18. I can always go back to breaking down values instead of using the proportion as well, if that's something that you find easier or that you understand more. There isn't one way to solve this problem, but there's a lot of ways to get to the answer as long as you show your work. Our last question today says, on Fortnite, I have won 50 games. If I win 30% more games, how many would I have won total? Now, this one is a little bit of a trick problem based on how it is worded. So let's look at the part, whole, and percent. And so I know my percent is for sure 30, but look at how it's worded, 30% more. And so this 50, and this is where it's tricky, this is actually the whole. That is all of the games I have won, and I want to win more. So I need to figure out what is 30% more. And so you could set up your proportion. Part over whole equals percent over 100. Or we could just break down 50. So I'm going to use this other method this time. I know 10% of 50 is 5. And if I triple it, I'd get 30%. So I'm going to triple my answer to get 15. That's 15 games. So I already have won 50, and then I got 15 more that I won. How many have I won now? So I had 50 wins. Let's use pen. I had 50 wins, plus I got 15 more. Now I have won 65 games. And so here we have our solution. That is actually our part, because our part was that extra 15 games that we added on to the original winning amount. And so this one's a little trickier just on how it's worded. So it's really important that we think about what the question is asking us to do as we're solving.